Hi, welcome to AFTV and welcome to Arsenal News. And well, I've got James with me. How are you, James?
Yeah, good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well. I think I wanted to start this show by just mentioning, obviously, we've been nominated for the British Sports Journalism Award, the SJAs, as it goes by. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you head online and give us a vote. We've got a vote. We're in a category of Best YouTube Sports Show under Watch Along. I think that's been nominated, and we're going to be there Monday. So make sure you guys check that out. And thank you. Big thank you. Again, I've mentioned it in many other shows. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to, have this recognition.
Recognition.
Great
It took me a while to think, what is the word?
Recognition.
I echo everything you say there, man. It's a really big deal, and we probably don't make kind of a big enough deal about it sometimes. But no, big thank you to everyone. Honestly, it means the world, and we're looking forward to that. And we're up against just a few. I mean, Simon, Jordan and White will be there. Jim White, Gary Neville's overlap.
Vibe with 5.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Rio Ferdinand, Joel Bayer and stuff. So yeah, some really great football content. And the AFTV watch along is up there with them. So it's a real privilege, man. Thank you.
It's a big up. And obviously today's big news is Matteo Guendouzi signing on a permanent deal to Marseille. Now, before we go into the news and then our thoughts and you guys' thoughts and opinions about that, I want to ask you, obviously you did a video today. It was mainly around Saliba and kind of a checkup, wasn't it? But I'm sure other French, players were mentioned or players at French clubs. So I'm sure Guendouzi was, because the news would say was him signing his permanent. Was that brought up as well? Was there anything that jumped out at you from the professional? What do you call him? A specialist in French football.
Expert.
I
I really enjoyed this. It was with Jonathan Johnson from CBS Sports. Guys, please go check it out after this stream. Stay with us for now, but do go check it out after the stream because it came out a couple hours ago. He kind of, in a way that sort of others who are kind of in the know or whatever hadn't given me quite that same insight in terms of just him telling me about William Saliba and why the move back to France, or the several moves back to France, have made sense for him. How he's been doing compared to Matteo Guendouzi, who's also been enjoying, a good loan spell there, which is we now know has become a permanent move, and we're going to discuss that too. And then he picked out some players that could be good options for Arsenal. One I hadn't actually heard of called Fofana. So I will go obviously do my research on him and see if that's a player we're linked with. I think that's a midfielder. But he obviously mentioned Jonathan David, Renato Sanchez and a few others. And it was really good. I mean, really kind of, when we're looking at this William Saliba move and why Arteta sanctioned so many loans, why we decided not to play him and give minutes to players that we thought maybe didn't have a long-term future at Arsenal, whereas this guy did. A lot of it was around comfort and his development. And yes, sure, we might benefit from having William Saliba for a year or two, but will he have a better 5 to 10 years if he's allowed to develop, in the right way in these years he's had in France? And I think that was really at the crux of this loan spell and why he's benefiting so much from it. And then ultimately, I won't spoil it, but I did ask him, where do you think his future lies? And he gave me a really interesting answer around William Saliba. So yeah, go check that out. Are you leaving them
on a cliffhanger? There's a cliffhanger there. Look at you.
What a cliffhanger that is. I mean, that's great. I mean, the biggest cliffhanger since Game of Thrones. But yeah, essentially, go check out. He said some really interesting stuff, and we talked about some other French targets as well, potential strikers away from Jonathan.
Was Anami Grier? I don't know if I can spell it. Guiri? I'm terrible with
names. I think it's Guiri.
So I was looking at him last night as well. I think he's a brilliant talent. Someone who'd fit lovely at Arsenal. Someone, we should definitely be looking at. Did that get mentioned as well?
He did get mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So one of the players we talked about. He's in the thumbnail, I believe. I'm going to look now.
Oh,
there he is.
He is.
So it was good. Thanks for asking, man. But guys, encourage everyone to go watch that because spoke with real authority about those particular Arsenal players or Arsenal player and former Arsenal player in terms of us understanding. I asked him about whether he thinks Arsenal will regret the move, and again had some really interesting answers. So I'm not going to just relay it all here. Go watch the video, but he was very good.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that, James. And yeah, make sure you guys go check that out. It's on the channel now. Make sure you go have a little look. Obviously, I'm going to go into the news with Guendouzi. We'll take on Watford this weekend, and tomorrow I just want to also highlight as well, we'll be going to Vicarage Road to film plenty of content. So make sure you guys look out for that and give it a watch and let us know your comments as well, because I'm always excited to go into a stadium. I'm sure you are as well. It's always a privilege to be in there and filming content for you guys and yeah, to see and nice little previews ahead of the game this Sunday. Now let's talk about Guendouzi, because I'm sure there's a lot of Guendouzi fans in the chat, a lot of people watching it are big fans of him, but obviously he signed now permanently over to Marseille, and I wouldn't say he did tweet. What is it's the best decision I think one of the best decisions he's made. I don't think.
Yeah, I'll try to find it actually.
Yeah,
just
I don't
so
think that's. I think publications kind of said that made it into like in a sense that it was like a dig at Arsenal, but I don't think it is. I think he signed at a new club and a full time. Well, he signed at a club for full time, a permanent deal. I think he's just doing what's right, and he seems happy over there. I don't know if you're going to see if we can get the tweet up on there.
Can't find the tweet unless it was maybe a tweet from when he first joined. I can't remember. But what I would say about Matteo Guendouzi is I really liked him as a player. I thought as a midfielder he looked quite slight, but he was actually quite powerful when he drove forward. Maybe not powerful, but definitely agile definitely 100%. Hard to bring down. He was the kind of player that would try and take the game by the scruff of the neck, and I always, every time I talk about Guendouzi, I always talk about that North London derby against obviously against Spurs, it's fucking North London derby, and the Villa game as well, where we were 2-0 down against Spurs, we were 2-1 down against Villa, with a man down. Who got sent off? I think Maitland-Niles got sent off in that game. And we ended up picking up 4 points out of 6 in games we could easily have picked up 0. And a lot of that was down to Matteo Guendouzi. We still know that season went badly, but think how much worse it would have been if it weren't for him. So, we know kind of how it ended, but the talent was never in question. And one of the things I did get from the interview today was that sense that he's kind of on the right track. There's not a feeling that he's going to kind of waste his career away, or that the talent's going to kind of be overshadowed by temperament or whatever. He's very much on track to have a very good career. And look, we will debate, I'm sure, whether that's right for Arsenal or not, or whether Arteta made the right decisions or not, and I'm sure we'll have comments about it. But it is kind of just good from a kind of almost human perspective and just a footballing neutral perspective, that a player as talented as him is playing at the highest level in France and will probably be playing in Europe as well next season.
Yeah, there's no doubt they had talent. I think agile was the perfect way to describe him. I think you see him turn on the ball very well. It is quite explosive when he's pushing away from it as well. And for such a young player at the time, mature. I'll give it to him. I know that there is obviously his attitude problems, which I
mature on the ball.
And how much he takes responsibility. I think when he goes into tackles, and he didn't shy away from anything, which I actually respect as a player. But for me, I think I'm happy that he's now, signed permanently. I wasn't kind of on the side of we should be bringing him back. I want Guendouzi back in the Arsenal side. For me, I think Arteta's made a lot of decisions, bold decisions with players, seems to be working as of yet. And at the right time, I think when it comes to attitude, I've been in a professional football club. I know how, it might seem minute to fans having attitude problems, but it can really be toxic within a club. And I think Arteta kind of assessed that really early on. I think he kind of made the right decision. But that's not to deny his talent, but I think I'm happy for him that he's at Marseille, and I think Arteta's made the right decision personally, just from the things obviously we saw in the past. But like you said, I think now he's kind of got on a run of form. I think the manager likes him very much at Marseille. He's played many games, and it's trying to find in his form over at Marseille. We've got some super chats that have just popped up.
I'll read this one from Shress. Says, Arsenal fans were twerking, saying the project has gone bang. KSC shamelessly hiked season ticket before achieving top 4. KSC didn't even think of increasing club seats. Fans are just paying for incompetent business. They're still not happy. Shress there. What else have we got? Debanshi says, I think Arteta has something against volatile kids. Can't handle them, I guess. Listen, some people say he's got problems with...
Yeah, because Aubameyang's not a kid, really. If we're looking at that example, he's not a kid. He's one of the more experienced players. But we spoke about before this stream, James. We spoke about today, like how the characters or big personalities are slowly coming out of football. You look at Liverpool, there's no one really doing silliness, say, on the pitch or very much off the pitch, and the success shows it.
It was an interesting chat we had.
It was, and I said it will stick with me because the reason why I said it is because I think in football, I like players with personality and characters. I love them. I really did. I liked Balotelli. Very much liked him at City. He had very much a character. And he was a good player with that. I know I'm trying to think, that was a very interesting example, but that was the one that first came to my mind. I did like players like that, had a bit about them. Marcus Rashford in a different sense. That's more because obviously I've body double for him, but also the things he does off the pitch as well. I think people used to like stick to football at times and they criticise him, but I like players that have a bit more about them. However, when we had that discussion, you see, it's more managers that it doesn't I guess coincide sometimes their way I think the club should be managed, in the sense they want things that just players that are serious about the football, just get the job done, go and do all your talking on the pitch and keep it professional. And I think you're kind of starting to see the game kind of come to that as well.
Well, I think to apply it to the Guendouzi Arteta situation, and that's why this is still relevant, because whether people like it or not, we've just got to accept this. Players that leave Arsenal, that go on to do well, Arsenal will always reflect on Arsenal. We'll always look back on Arsenal. So let's say Guendouzi goes on and becomes one of the top 10 midfielders in the world. Let's say Saliba doesn't get the opportunity at Arsenal, we hope he does, goes on to be one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world. Let's say all these things happen, right? People will look back at Arsenal's decision to let them go and they'll point a finger.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? Is it Arteta's? Could Arteta not either, did he not have an eye for a player? Could he not deal with temperament? Was he too stubborn? Whatever. That will always happen. Likewise, if a player leaves and doesn't do well, people will say, well, see, Arteta knew, blah, blah. And Aubameyang, we're seeing it now. Aubameyang 5 goals in the last 3 games for Barcelona, and people are already saying 5 in his last 3. They ignore that 1 came off his back and the other was tap in. But but also well done to him. That's he's also scored some really good goals. So especially a couple finishes against Valencia and Napoli, and Arteta will obviously be criticised for that and scrutinised for that. It's the nature of how it works. But the one thing I'd say to people is not to focus too much on which players managers have fallen out with and blah blah blah, because if you look at like Guardiola, he's fallen out with players. He fell out with Ibrahimovic, signed him and then fell out with him. Managers get it wrong sometimes. De Bruyne, Lukaku, I know Lukaku's gone back, De Bruyne, Mo Salah, it didn't work for them at Chelsea, but the only reason Chelsea aren't talked about as much, but De Bruyne and Salah are, slightly different level. With all due respect to Tammy Abraham, he's a very good player. But with De Bruyne and Salah, why does it not get talked about too much? Well, because they've won the Premier League and Champions League since. So, and it still, even then, still gets talked about a little bit. So, there's gonna be times where it doesn't, work out to manager and player. Well done to Guendouzi, he's had his move. I don't think we need to fixate on this too much, because I'm quite happy with not necessarily our central midfield options, but maybe the space we've opened up for the future. And Partey and Xhaka seem to have found a good balance between them, and Lokonga I'm excited about. So
Arsenal weren't wrong to then they're not wrong by letting him flourish down at Marseille, or would you say they should have at a time maybe pushed to bring him back? Or are you kind of against that? Are you happy with how the midfield is at Arsenal and think, I think Arteta's done the right decision here? By not wanting to obviously try and push
I'd like to.
It's all hypothetical.
I'm trying to predict the future here. I'd like to have seen him had another chance for Arsenal. I'd even like Lucas Torreira as a squad player to have another chance at Arsenal. I don't think either of them are going to happen. We know Guendouzi's, and I think Torreira's will be completed as well with Fiorentina. But I trust Arteta, I think, to get this right. Yeah. When I look at the way the players, this current group of players that I really like have responded to him, it makes me think he's probably onto something. So
it's that, isn't it? I think it's the decisions he's made in the past now that are kind of, we're starting to trust. And it's really difficult because there's times in the start of Arteta's reign under Arsenal where I questioned a lot, and I suppose he got wrong. But now I feel like the mood has kind of shifted the other way. The Aubameyang, keeping him out of side decisions with that. Even I think Martinelli bleeding him in at a certain time. Some may even say Pepe now, depending on how obviously he goes moving forward. We're kind of starting to trust in Arteta more. Would you say you're kind of on that as well? You have more faith in him and his decisions?
The man management thing has been something that's been levelled at him a few times when you look at the way he's dealt with certain things. But, it's a young manager who is trying to establish authority. And let's be honest, winning the FA Cup, brilliant. But when he walked in the door, he had no authority.
Yeah.
really apart from by title, what was the other reason for players to go, yeah, I'm really going to listen to you and I'm really going to hear what you have to say, and even if I disagree, I'm going to push through. Only the ones with the best attitude and the right attitude would have done that, because they'll have understood that nothing's going to work unless you all pull in the same direction. So I think there would have been times when maybe, I'll give you an example. I thought at the time I didn't, but now I think he was far too harsh on Pepe about the red card against Leeds, because I've seen us get countless red cards since and Arteta not be as strong about it. But clearly he's somehow got through to Pepe recently, or maybe always has been through to Pepe, because at 3 a.m. after his partner's had a baby, Pepe saying he wants to play. Involved, and then he comes on and performs what he did against Brentford. So clearly this whole man management issue isn't as bad as we think. But there is obviously a lot of evidence that, at times maybe he's not got things quite right. We look at Aubameyang. Could there have not been something repaired there so that we could have more depth going into this, final few months of the season? But it's all speculative.
I like that. That was a great point about the man management thing there, and Pepe ringing up, because I know if you're not a fan of your manager, you're not ringing up the manager to say, listen, I want to be involved, I want to help the squad, and that's for a fact. And I also kind of want to go to the sense of, listen, there's players that, as much as many people may disagree, there's players that have won sometimes more than their manager. So they have a sense of air, a sense of authority, and to think like, how can you tell me or discipline me when you haven't won anything? I know Arteta may have got the FA Cup, but Aubameyang, I'm not saying this is all hypotheticals, but he could be like, well, listen, I got that FA Cup for you and whatnot. And there's players at other clubs that have won more than managers. So I liked what I've seen with Arteta, that he's stuck with the young players, and players are really buying into what he's trying to put across. And sometimes sometimes it's personalities and players' attitudes that may clash. And I think Arteta's done a good job, and I trust in who the players he's kind of shipped out, and has been the right decision as of yet. So fair play to Mikel Arteta in that sense.
Yeah, and to round off on the Guendouzi stuff, good player, has definitely improved at Marseille. I don't think the talent was ever the reason why it didn't work for him at Arsenal. No. I think it was about temperament or attitude, or maybe, let's maybe give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's nothing to do with any of those things, and it's purely about his relationship with the manager, and the manager's decision goes. And this club, rightly or wrongly, at the moment looks rightly, but let's still be patient and wait. Rightly or wrongly, have backed this manager through everything. Through Guendouzi, through Aubameyang, through Ozil, although we don't really know who's kind of involved in the Ozil stuff. Signing Ramsdale when he was the more expensive option, signing Ben White for 50 million, just giving him 150 million alone this summer. So, he's been backed massively, and they're picking Arteta's side with this. And the players are responding. And I'll always repeat it: the players that we like, that we're on board with, that we're more connected to than before, are clearly backing Arteta's stance. Even Lacazette, who's one of Aubameyang's best friends, looked it anyway, is fighting tooth and nail for this club, and for this team, and maybe not for the manager, but it looks like he could be. So, I think that's why most people are on board. That's why I'm on board as well. Don't get me wrong, he's made his decisions. Arteta will live and die by the sword that he's chosen. Things like even the January window, he could have. I know the main target was Vlahovic. It didn't happen. He didn't want to bring in another striker just for a panic buy. So that, I think, may catch up with Arsenal, but right now it hasn't, and we're in the right path. So fair play to Mikel Arteta. I'm fully behind him, what I'm seeing, and these decisions that he's making so far in the second half of the season have been right from what we've seen. So fair play. Let's. Can I ask you something? Will we regret the Guendouzi stuff? Do you think?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Let's ask the comment section.
Yeah, people in the comments.
Just like yes or no. Will Arsenal regret the handling of the Guendouzi situation? And that really lends to more: will Arsenal, or will Guendouzi go on to become a top midfielder, the kind of midfielder who could have had a really good career at Arsenal? Just interesting. I'm interested to see what people think.
James Mayfair says, James, expose Cecil, please. He was always an Arteta non-believer. Listen, we've all gone through. No, I've been on both sides at times, but more so on the Arteta ins. I don't want to say Arteta. I don't like this Arteta in and out, so I don't know all that. But I was more so sided with Arteta. There was, I think, the the getting out of the cups really did affect me. But I think everyone this season has been on either side, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I don't mind saying, that was one time that, I was on Arteta, get him out, and on the side of Arteta, keep him in. He's doing the right thing. But right now, what can you argue with? There's nothing to argue with. I just say top 4 should be priority, and there isn't many excuses. That's the only kind of where I lie with this. There's no excuse. There's no European football. There's no midweek games. There's no cup competition. You made a decision not to make a sign in January. You've stuck with all these decisions. So there's no excuse why you shouldn't get top 4. What other excuses are there? The only thing is you're a young manager, but you've been in the job for 2 and a bit years now. So for me, there's no excuse for top 4 this season. The other clubs around us are also dropping points and failing and not reaching their potential. There's no excuse. When it comes to the end of the season, if he doesn't get that, I will be critical. But right now, I'm on the Arteta side, and I think it's only right to be.
I think this top 4, will he make it, will he not, all that, how much does it matter? That's going to be the ongoing topic between now and the end of the season. So brace yourselves, guys. It's coming up in every single video because it is just what's important. I'm looking at what people are saying about whether we will regret the handling of the Guendouzi stuff. Owen, with a very helpful answer, says it's either yes or no. Thank you, Owen. Lord Bentner says, I think no. Mad Dog says yes. Remy says no. Chris says no. Tyree says no. Adrian says yes. George no. T yes. Marathon yes. Caesar yes. Sagan yes. Marley, no. There's still loads of you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
What about you, James? Where do you stand? Because realistically, where is it going to affect us? I suppose in this, we didn't sign a midfielder in January to cover that position. Bringing Guendouzi back, would that have helped Arsenal? Do you think we're going to regret? Do you think we're going to regret as the club?
Regret's a strong word. Do I think Guendouzi will go on to have a good career, play at a very, very good level of European football, probably play for France? Probably be considered a really good midfielder among in the company of the best in Europe. I think he will. I think he's got the potential. I think he will get to that level, and I think he's got the right drive, like on the pitch, to make it happen. But will Arsenal regret it? No. I think regretting it. It's hard to explain.
You don't really see clubs regret.
Do you know, regret is Serge Gnabry. We weren't able to find a way to keep him here. The contract was kind of running out, and did we give him the game time? We probably should have. And then he goes on to become unbelievable for Bayern Munich. That felt like we never really gave it the best chance of working. Whereas with Guendouzi, I don't think it was ever. It's not about footballer, the player and talent. I think it's about other off-field things, and so it's hard to know. If Arsenal go and do their thing,
is a good example. I think I'm trying to think.
Yeah, if Arsenal go and do their thing over the next couple of years, then no, it won't matter.
Yeah.
Then no, I don't think it will matter. Sir Alex Ferguson was the king at losing players that you thought were irreplaceable. Oh my God, Cristiano Ronaldo goes out the door. They bring in Michael Owen, Obertan, and win the league again. So do they regret selling Ronaldo in that moment? No. Probably not, because they made a lot of money and they carried on winning the title, and it was what he wanted, and they got him back, and that's going brilliantly. So,
It's going brilliantly.
Sorry, I had to.
It's a slide dig.
Yeah, sorry. Love you, United fans.
Shref with the super chat says, all successful people have unique characteristics. Guendouzi had drive and passion for the shirt. That can't be taught, but in this, I think it means ill discipline can be corrected, or indiscipline can be corrected. Dev says, I see talent in Saliba, but I don't know why people act like Guendouzi is the next Vieira. Thoughts on David, but I want João Felix.
I want
João Felix and Jonathan David. I think you've mentioned Jonathan David as well. Both of those would be, what a summer that would be. Imagine.
Yeah.
Dev says João Felix was in London a couple of days ago. I did see that being reported. Any news with you? I don't want to do this thing again. He's in London. He's on Finsbury Park Station.
If any of you see a number plate J060 F. How could you make an E? F3 L1X. If anyone sees that number plate going round, he's signing for us.
If anyone's got a video of him in the club in London, he's definitely signing for
Parked
Arsenal.
outside the Armoury.
Outside the studio.
He's signing for Arsenal.
Mohammed says, hi guys, I would sell Guendouzi, he's gone, as the attitude we are trying to build around the club is pointless having him. I don't think we will regret. I think regret was a strong word, but again, I think Arteta's, he's heavy on he's heavy on the attitude, heavy on amongst the team. You can see, like you said, the togetherness is massive. I think in every month, Arteta does a press conference, he talks about unity. That is his main thing, unity. I want to see the side unified and together. And togetherness as well was at the first before he started talking about unity. And you're starting to see that within the side. You see that amongst the fan base, see that between the players and the fan base. I get what he's trying to build and I respect it. I'm not saying Guendouzi will be coming there and disrupt that, but I understand what he's trying to build, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see us. What are you giggling at there?
Yeah, super chat from Dev. Can we take him home and laugh at Spurs?
Do you know what? We didn't do that, and I did mention before the show we have just a little quick interjection before we go into the next bit of news. Spurs, James?
Listen, I hate doing this because football always comes back around. Life comes at you fast, and then you're sat there thinking,
come on, they laughed at us when we got knocked out by Nottingham Forest. They laughed at us so loudly. I had some Spurs fans coming at me, but come on, Antonio Conte being there. You always spoke about Antonio Conte as he's the one that, might change the tide. He could be the guy I'm worried about. Yes, there's still time, but come on, you watch Tottenham, you think, wow. I'm setting you up here for a little clip, but you're not biting.
What I will say about Spurs, and I'll keep saying it, never write off Antonio Conte, but my word, he's doing his best, isn't he? He's doing his best to make me write him off. I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take the bait. But of course, as an Arsenal fan, do we enjoy that they're going to go a 14th year, whatever it is, without silverware? Yeah, amazing. But
2008, James.
It's a long time.
2000.
Middlesbrough were good, by the way.
They were good.
And on the topic of it, may as well mention Folarin Balogun. Yes. Some mixed reviews in terms of his performance. I think
he did all right with it.
I understand the decision making at time, or the execution wasn't perfect, but I like that he was kind of trying to take onus and do things. He didn't look out of place. If someone had told me he was a 24-year-old, perfectly established player on the pitch, I wouldn't have thought he looked out of sorts in that game. But maybe I was watching with rose-tinted glasses and trying to hope that, I don't know.
Yeah, I was the same. I was hoping he would score. I kept saying in the group chat, to top this night off, Balogun scores. But I think he had a good performance. Whether he's ready for Arsenal's first 11, probably not right now. Maybe, and I don't know, it's still early on in his loan spell, but maybe another loan. But you can see he definitely has talent. He has confidence to drive with the ball.
Dev is pushing it. He goes, James, they got outplayed in capital letters by Borough. I know they
James,
did.
Come on,
I know.
Agent E says skullfuggery is lurking because he wants to get James.
I know, but what?
It's Spurs, man. The Spurs are up. Come on. 2008. Do you know how long ago that was?
It's hilarious. I know it's funny, but I'm just still wary. Let's try and just get top 4.
All right.
Then we can have our fun.
I respect you for holding it down.
Because listen, I'm enjoying it, but
it's comical.
But I worry. Football just
changes,
just like that. Like that, football can just. So anyway, thank you though, Middlesbrough. It was funny.
It was great. Amit says, with the news coming out now, Chelsea will be sold. Does that help us in the future, pulling Chelsea back in the pack with us? I mean, that is kind of the next bit of news we was going to touch on.
Honestly, I need to do more reading on this whole situation. With the sale, what kind of exactly they're up for. I think I loosely saw he might want 3 billion. So he wanted
3 billion, but I think with the money owed, I think he's pushed it more to if people were happy to buy it at 4 billion.
So the club owe him a lot of money.
1.4 billion.
Look because we're gonna approach this from a pure footballing perspective and an Arsenal perspective. Firstly, I remember back in the summer when we were hopeful that Daniel Ek was going to come in and buy the club, and we sat there kind of thinking, you're trying to look up how much this guy's worth and what you can invest and what they can put in, and can this club realistically succeed with them, or are we actually better off with the Cronkies, or yada yada yada, all that. And it's a very kind of insecure time. You don't really know kind of who's looking after this club you love so much, and who's going to be the right custodians for your club. And with Abramovich, he's looking to sell. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot.
I think I saw some of the investors saying that, quite frankly, it's too much, but they're looking to go in with other investors.
Yeah, he's turned down a few. He's turned down a few offers already of like 2.5 billion as well. He's definitely wanting to make a sell because obviously he sold his London assets as well, a few apartments and homes here in the UK. So he is trying to make the sell, but it's a lot of money. 3 billion to 4 billion for Chelsea Football Club. I believe he bought it for 160 million, 140 million. He bought Chelsea for back in the day, and now it's 4 billion.
What I'd say again, approaching this from a purely footballing perspective, is that Abramovich spent, there's a lot of money spent on Chelsea in terms of the investment in the team, investment in the club, and to find investors, owners, custodians that are willing to support at that level is difficult, but you never know. It's Chelsea are a massive football club, probably a massive brand. So we'll kind of see. We'll kind of see what kind of happens with them. But Arsenal just need to keep doing their thing. I've enjoyed that the Cronkies have invested money the last couple of years. Really, the last 3-4 years have actually been spending some money. They backed Arteta big time in the summer. They were willing to back him in January, so we're here. But they couldn't get in the striker they want. So we wait and see what happens.
Do you think it's going to need multiple investors? I think at Chelsea, because listen, Roman Abramovich is putting a lot of money at Chelsea to keep it succeeding.
Probably.
It's going to need multiple. I think obviously there was people that put bids in, but they were just independent. I believe it's Wiss, the Swiss investor wants to be owner, but he says he can't do it by himself. He wants a consortium of people of investors with it, because it's going to cost a lot of money to keep Chelsea, I suppose, where they are. But yeah, I mean, will they? Is it a big thing where they're going to be able to compete if Roman leaves? Like, the culture of Chelsea could change. I doubt they will. I think they will find someone to buy the club, if in my opinion, or multiple investors to keep them where they are. It'll be interesting to see what happens with their footballing wise as well, how they come out from the situation of Roman wanting to sell the club. Yeah,
we wait and see. Shall I fly through the super chats?
Yes.
Tress says Guendouzi pushed up from Arsenal and he went to Marseille and killed it. That speaks volume. Shows he's got big character, and such people come up with big moments. Agent E says, James, I agree. I'm saving all the laughs until we make top 4. Then I'll be having a party. Agent E, that's where I am. If the season ends, we get top 4.
You're gonna have a top 4 party, are you? And you're gonna laugh at top. That's when you're gonna wait.
I'm gonna celebrate it like it's a trophy.
Oh my, clip it.
See, that's what you want, isn't it? That's the moment you wanted. That was the clip you want. There you go.
Thank you. We got it out of it.
If we get top 4, I'll be very, very happy. It's not success, as Turkish says. He puts it perfectly. It's not success, but it's significant progression. If Arsenal get top 4, that means obviously Tottenham won't, unless Chelsea really balls it up. That means Tottenham won't. We can celebrate this in Tottenham's Day. We can celebrate finishing in the top 4, playing Champions League football this season. We can celebrate that's going to bring us more money to invest in the team, and then we can really enjoy that. We made something of this season where they didn't. But so far, no one's made anything of anything.
It's true,
so
and there's still time. I mean, I saw a comment saying about why we focus on Tottenham. I'm not saying I'm focused on Tottenham, but it is always nice to have a good week where we win and we look back at Tottenham and they don't get a result. It does make the week ever so sweet.
Of course it does. And we're watching United, and it's good. Watching our rivals drop points as they enjoy watching us drop points. So
exactly,
that's how it is.
Go on.
Stuff says under 23s North London derby.
Yes.
Friday predictions for it. Are you going to that?
Yeah. Well, I believe I put it forward to Robbie. Robbie will be there. It's a North London derby. Yes, at Bournemouth. We're home. It's going to be a big game. I potentially might be there. I do. Well, obviously, I predict us to win. I'm going to go over 2-0. I was at the last game against Liverpool. We lost 4-1. We got a red card. We got a sending off, and there's a vlog. Guys, check out the vlog. Check out the vlog. There was a red card. Ty was with me. That's all I need to say. There was a red card.
There was a red card, and Ty was there.
And Ty was with me.
That's all you need to say.
Go check out the vlog on AFTV.
Fair enough.
It is brilliant. But,
I'm going to fly through these quick. Victor says, big up James Cecil. There have been rumours that Lewandowski is a target for Arsenal. I'd be shocked if he comes 1 year left in 2023. I
did see this.
Bayern are a selling club. I don't know about selling club, but I would definitely say that Lewandowski is a world-class striker. Would I take him at Arsenal? I think a fool would say, no, because he's so good. But Is he in keeping with what we're trying to do? You know,
would you take him at Arsenal? A fool would say no. That's what you just said. You said
yeah.
no.
Surely you'd want Lewandowski at Arsenal, but I can understand why he's just not the profile of player we've been looking at. We're trying to build for the future. We're trying to build a squad that can grow together. And you know, you're always wary. He's performing unbelievably still at this age, but when does he hit that age where it just suddenly starts to, you know, will Arsenal be paying him 300-400 grand a week only for him to hit a dry spell or hit the decline? I don't know, but what a player.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you're paying that much money, then it'd be it's an interesting conversation. But obviously, Cavani went to United and done very well, and he was old, coming towards the end of his career. But I suppose I think it's the money that will be the determining factor of that. Is the difference. But yeah, all right. Let's go to Dev Singh says Conte forgot his Italian passport at Inter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. I mean, look. You know, he just touching on Inter. You know, he left them because of a money situation, as far as I'm aware. And they've still been competing for the title and doing some good things this season. Look how well they played against Liverpool the other day. I know they lost, but they played well against them. So, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. Look, I mean, I do enjoy watching Spurs with Conte struggle, but I'm just very wary that football can swing just like that. So we'll see. But yeah.
All right, let's go to some other news of the day. Talking about Pablo Mari.
I forgot we had this to chat about. Yeah.
Spoke to ESPN and he basically lauded up Mikel Arteta and said, you know, he's going to be one of the best coaches in the world, because when he does the game plan, I never see it like this. I think he's very happy when Arteta deploys his game plan and does very well. Pablo Mari, fair play, being up Arteta. Do you know what? I'm quite surprised he left Arsenal the way he did. I thought he could have been used a bit more, personally. I actually liked Pablo Mari. I think his time here at Arsenal was quite short. So yeah, it's nice that he is bigging up Mikel Arteta. I think a lot of players do after they leave. I'm trying to think of anyone that's kind of it's been like kind of negative towards Mikel Arteta. They do laud. A lot of players do laud him up. Go on, what was you going to say?
I'm just reading the quote, right? So yeah, he's called him one of the best coaches in the world. Says I have to say he's one of the best coaches in the world because when he does a game plan, I never see it like this. Then this quote is interesting. How he finds solutions for us and makes it easy to play the game. I've never seen something like this. That means he's an amazing coach. And often Arteta, Guardiola's criticised for this as well. They make the game too overcoached, over-instructed. You know, players are puppets to the coach's demands now. And so to hear someone say that he finds solutions and he makes it easy to play the game, I find that very interesting. I've kind of always felt that from a distance, when I'm watching like Man City and Guardiola, I always think, I wonder if the relentless coaching ultimately is like, it's hard up to a point to when it clicks and then it's seamless. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why maybe sometimes it can feel easy. It can feel natural. But
that second quote, James, does stand out to me as well. I think how he finds solutions for us. There's times I've watched Arsenal and I think there's plan A seems brilliant. Playing out from the back, using a wide play, coming in, cutting across. And I was like, that works at times. But I always criticise Mikel Arteta a few months ago, especially around December, was the time of like, where's the plan B? So for him to say the solutions that he makes for us, it makes it easy to play the game, it's fair enough. Listen, for the players that are saying it's easier, then it must be. But for me, I always think there's always a strong plan A, I feel like, but when it comes to plan B and Arsenal get figured out, I struggle to see a clear plan B. But if the players are buying into it, then yeah, I mean, fair. It's
well,
nice
the biggest satisfaction from Wolves for me was not only the late goal, but that the 2 goals we scored came from persistence with Plan A, and it worked. You know, the Odegaard ball, the cutback from Nketiah. How many times have we talked about the cutback? Right. And then you look at the lovely sort of intricacy between Odegaard, Lacazette, Pepe for that winner as well. Again, very similar players linking. So that's obviously always very encouraging. Yeah. I don't know what more to add to that.
No, that's good. And just quickly before we round up, I like that you said about, you know, it becomes seamless. I know when being many young academy players will know as well, when you're in an academy, the thing you do is passing patterns all day, every day. When the ball's here, you need to be here. Around this player, you have to pass it in this position because he's going to be there. If you do that, you mess up the pattern of play. So I think that when you said it becomes seamless, I believe that is probably what it is. It makes the game easier for them. But that's when I always criticise for the plan B. But plan A, like you said, in the Wolves game, we stay persistent with
Listen,
it.
I think Mari could come back. I know we've got Saliba. I don't know what Holding's future looks like. I think Mari could come back and be part of the squad. I liked him last season. This season hasn't been brilliant, I agree. Started the season pretty terribly. But last season I thought was really good. Really good pushing it. I thought last season he was good, and I don't think there was a lot between him and Gabriel in terms of performances last season. So I would hope Mari's got some sort of future.
I liked him,
though he's not as good as Gabriel. Of course not.
Did he get the credit he deserved at Arsenal? Because you remember we did our defenders.
But I think it's hard because credit for what? We didn't do anything last season. But we didn't really do anything last season. I think that's the main thing. We finished 8th and we didn't win anything.
Yeah, but you can still judge a player on their ability. We still do that. Cedric
sure, but I think
the credit he deserves. But we could say
I think he was unfairly criticised. He was kind of overly. It had happened with Cedric as well. Like he was kind of made a bit of a joke, and then you give him a little bit extended run in the first team, and you realise actually around the players are in form, he can get to that level and be good as well. Yeah. So but we're talking about squad players here who I think are perfectly good enough for that role. But anyway.
Well, that's it. That's it for today's Arsenal news. Thank you, James, for joining me, and thank you for everyone that was watching and getting involved in the comments as well. I'm just seeing if there's any more comments to round up on. But yes, thank you everyone for watching.
No, I know what sparked it in your mind. The donation, the bid, the charity thing you wanted to promote. Yeah.
Thanks, you need to promote.
When you had that brainwave, I was trying to remember something as well, and then there you go. Go on.
Yes, Bob Wilson Foundation, they're doing an auction. It's actually tomorrow for a piece. Do you know what? I'm gonna get it. Why not? I'm gonna get it. Beautiful piece. Sorry, it's quite unprofessional for me to walk off set, but I'm just gonna bring it into the screen here. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is. I hope you can see it in the wide.
Yeah, I'm having a little look. It's all good.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
All good. So the original
it is stunning.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Amazing legends there, as you can see. Let me put that. A lot of legends there on there. But that's been the original piece that is being auctioned off tomorrow, on the 3rd of March. And we're gonna go to the video for more details on it. But it's also on social media if you want to get involved, make a bid for the original piece. And if you can't make it it's in Camden, the event. If you can't make it, the London Football Awards. If you can't make it, then you can go online and donate. And all proceeds go to an amazing charity. But the video will be coming your way to give you more information on it right now. Take care.
What an amazing piece of artwork this is. Listen, so many names there, so many legends. And look, this could be yours. The original piece, this will be auctioned on the 3rd of March at the London Football Awards at the Roundhouse in Camden. Those who can't attend on the night can place a bid by emailing info@thefootballawardslondon.org. All the proceeds will go to the Bob Wilson's Willow Foundation, funds special days for seriously ill young adults. Fans can also purchase prints and printed canvases of the piece at www.terryneeshaw.com. £5 for every website sale will also be donated to the Willow Foundation. So if you'd like to get your hands on a lovely piece like this, make sure you go over and check the information and make a donation.
Big up Terry Neeshaw. That was all the information there. Like I said, go make a donation and hopefully you can get a lovely piece like that.
Love this comment from Jordan. Says proper players on there when Arsenal were great. Hopefully some of these players we'll talk about in the same way. We'll talk about that Adidas with the blue stripes and the white panels, and
yeah, they had the tier.
Probably not this season because the best we can hope for is top 4, but next season, whatever that kit is, and hopefully Saka and Smith Rowe can fire us to legendary status. So let's see.
And even had the Thierry photo there in the burgundy kit, my favourite. But what an amazing piece that is. But yeah, make sure you guys check that out. And again, thank you very much for watching this Arsenal news show and for the update of all the Arsenal news today. And we'll see you again very soon. Take care.